And we're live. Hi. Okay, we're back. It is Monday. It is 9:15 a.m. Got a slightly slow start this morning. When last we left off, I don't remember. I spent most of yesterday working on the model for the fog and just updating the fog stuff. Yeah. When we left off, I was working on Steam materials, which I kind of set that aside for a bit because I can't even make the storefront yet anyways. They need to evaluate a bunch of tax stuff. So we'll get back to that later in the week, probably. I decided to keep pushing on the art for the fog specifically and trying to get the fog to look a little bit better. I can show you what that looked like. That was mostly a struggle, and I think I largely failed. I think this is kind of the screenshot I had before of the fog, and I thought maybe it would be nice. Actually, that's a really old one. Okay, this will get you through it. This is where it was as of Saturday. I kind of need to cover up this area, which I think makes for a little bit too much purple on this side of the screen for the screenshot, and also this is the menu screen. This felt busy. In general, this felt more like a cloud, and I wanted it to feel more like longer paint strokes, so I was playing around with different ideas, and I kind of came up with a slightly different texture, and I pushed on that for a while. And this is kind of where it is now in game. You can sort of see some of the levels here peeking through. I think that's kind of important to make this, just to balance the composition a bit. I kind of did a bit of work here with the fog hose to make that look a bit better. I am happier with that. In general, though, I'm not super jazzed about this fog at all. I actually think it maybe looks better as it is now with the old texture, maybe. I don't know. Yesterday was a pretty big wash, and I really don't feel like pushing on that more this morning because I'm kind of burnt out on it, and I need to sit and let that percolate for a bit. I think I just need a new idea as far as the fog goes. I will show you some more stuff in a second. Let's try to open here. So yeah, this is kind of where the fog is now. I had this idea that maybe there'd be these strokes and they'd kind of wind around each other. It's just not coming together. This part is pretty cool. Like, I like this effect. I feel like I'm onto something there, maybe. Getting it to look good from the different angles will be tricky. In general, just a lot of work to be done there. But yeah, this is a real drag, so I'm going to take a break from this, and I'm going to, I think I'm going to spend today fixing undo. I think that's my plan. Hey, what's up, man? You doing awake this early? It's Pete the cat, right? Good morning, Tom. Yawn into the stream like a professional. Working. Yeah. Me too. I missed your stream because I was out. I heard you started streaming too, Pete. I'm excited for the snow tomorrow. I didn't know there was going to be snow tomorrow. I'm going to go with a no then. Is there going to be snow all week? Flying out next weekend. This is good. Help me procrastinate. I really don't want to work. I'm tired. Hey Dink Dunk, what's up, man? Thanks, Pete. That's sweet. It's weird at first. Streaming is weird. Takes a while to get used to. I'll let you know when I'm there. Still not used to it at all. This looks like ass, man. I don't know what to do. I spent like 10 hours on this yesterday just trying to sculpt something. I like... just looks so... bad. I have no solution here. Kind of like this effect where it's wrapping around like that. Maybe if I went with fewer strokes. I don't know what I'm doing. I need to not look at it. Does the city have a name? I don't know. Yeah, I'm talking about the cloud. Well, good morning, Tank Top. There's a lot of problems. Let's start with generally shitty issues with undo. I'm not going to worry about the fog today. Pete, if you have ideas, let me know. We'll think about it maybe later. Let's look at undo. Oh, I need to do that. Let's try to break undo. I swear this is supposed to be really easy to break. So restarting. See, why is the screen dark right now? I'm gonna turn off the sound. Cleaning up mocap from Madden. Oof. Dink Dunk, you're the worst. I didn't realize you were working for Overwatch. That's great, man. Goddamn. Pete's always busy. Even when we were crunching at Irrational, he had like a feature film he was working on the side and stuff. He never stops working. It's an inspiration. Hick vision. Oh, human IK? Ew. The Maya human IK? I think anybody used that shit. Alright. What state are you in right now? How'd you get here? That's not it. Let's start from the thing that actually darkens the screen will be in the HUD. God, that sucks, man. I'm really surprised they used that. Are you in... But then you're working with mocap data in Maya, not Motion Builder? Where would you be then? Maybe... Game HUD. Okay. Fade to black and fade from black. Find references in other blueprints. To play upon hit effects. This is scary. So I have something called fade to black and fade from black on both this and this. Ideally, I don't know how I want to structure this. Like when you hit a wall, what do I want to have happen? Let's just get this working again. I want to totally change how this is done. This is insane. This can't continue. This is a holdover from a time when you could stay dead for a while. But now we automatically undo you on death, so this doesn't need to be like this. Got it. Motion builder at first, and then Maya. Yeah. Cool, guys. Alright. I think what I want to do is set a timeline. Rather than this being an instant thing, we'll go with timeline. Fix timeline. Opacity. I don't even want to do it in the HUD. I want to do it in the material. We're going to completely change this. Alright, there's a screen space material that's being applied at all times. Post-proc. This is running over the whole screen. It's what gives me that kind of blue to purple look. We're gonna start adding effects into here. For instance, very basic. Let's get a constant black. Let's get a parameter. Oh, do you think I should use a global parameter? Maybe I will. Because I don't think I've declared the post-proc. Yeah, let's make a global parameter. I don't do this very much. Parameter name will be hit effects. Fall. By default, it's 0. Global material param. Fuck it. You are hit effects fall. When hit effects fall. LARP. By default, you're 0. Whip to black screen. Not entirely, though. Let's take this, multiply by 0.5. Maybe 0.4. Blend to black. When this is called, you blend maybe over like 0.2 seconds or so to 1. Stay there for like a second and then blend back. Get rid of all this shit. And this never even really needs to be called. Sorry, I'm trying to think what would happen if I call this multiple times. pinged. I'm pitching a game in 2 weeks, or rather some ideas. It's for a friend that wants something to do to promote his product, and the HR manager is into it. Thinking about just producing mock-ups that look like they work in Unity since he doesn't play games. Have you ever pitched a game to someone that doesn't play them? They want a game. Kind of along the lines of Flappy Bird or Crossy Road. I do want to know a little bit more about it. I mean, when you're pitching, you definitely keep in mind the person that you're pitching to. So if you're pitching to a publisher, somebody who knows more about games, then you can get away with a... They're more interested in seeing like a kernel of fun, or seeing something that looks like an interesting mechanic, or something that kind of feels gamey. Whereas when you're pitching to, say, like a venture capitalist, or if you're pitching to, in your case, like somebody in HR, somebody who doesn't really play games, you mostly want to show them pretty art. You mostly want to show them things that look like screenshots, things that look like a game. Very highly polished as far as the visuals go, and not so much... You're not as concerned about having like a playable prototype. Like these days, especially in the indie space, a publisher mostly won't talk to you until you have a playable prototype. Trust me, I just tried to pitch a game with nothing but a trailer. They want the playable pretty badly, or at least something that looks playable, a video of something that looks playable, not necessarily just a pretty bucket of art. Whereas with venture capitalists or somebody who's not a publisher, they mostly want to see the visuals. They want to see something, you know, Hollywood. So I don't know what your I wouldn't even really worry about putting it in Unity. I'd make something that sells the idea in probably entirely in Photoshop. If it was a professional thing, you would make your files in Photoshop, and then you'd probably put into a PowerPoint. And if you need examples of decks, I can give you examples of like PowerPoint decks that people have used to pitch and stuff. You can mostly find those online. You can find people's pitch documents online if you Google it. But I mean, if you're pitching internally to HR, they don't have any kind of background understanding of, like, nobody's ever pitched anything to them before. They're a blank slate. At this point, it's just like, how persuasive can you be? Pitching things internally is such a different situation. Because are you talking like, yeah, I don't know. It also depends on the kind of company, how corporate the company is, versus, like, if you're pitching to a bank or a company that's been around for a while, where they're used to having meetings that are well thought out and such, then you should be polished. You should have a PowerPoint. If you're pitching to a company that's kind of a startup, you might actually lose cred if you look too corporate. You might want to show up with just like a bucket of pictures, and you might want to actually act a little bit manic and just be like, I got this idea, and it's great, and it's going to be the greatest thing of all time, and just like start throwing images at them. So it really depends. You kind of got to know who you're pitching to, and like you got to read the room a lot, you know, in that way. And it's hard. You got to like know ahead of time and tailor to it. Yep. Pretty over-functional. Definitely mock up a UI. It's stupid. Like, the delta is so extreme between a publisher or like a developer, somebody who knows what games look like, doesn't give a fuck about your UI, knows that's the last thing you do. Whereas if you're pitching to somebody who's like a venture capitalist, they don't understand that it's a game until they see the UI, and the UI has to look good. It's a totally different beast, in my limited experience. I was actually interested at just how much different publishers dug down into the design when we were pitching. That was actually kind of interesting. They really wanted to know, they were really squeezing Forrest on like design questions and stuff, which I thought was pretty cool. actually. Mocking it up in Unity as a presentation. Yeah. Good luck. It's stressful. It's even more stressful if you're only pitching to one person, right? Like, you wanna... like, if you got, like, 5 or 6 pitches lined up, your last one will always be your best. But if you're like, this is make or break, I'm pitching to this one lady. Joan needs to like this. I need to win Joan or I'm fucked. That's a lot more stressful. Good luck. Alright. What was I doing? Yeah. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna make 2 events. I'm just gonna get this out of the way now. One is the wall hit effects, one's gonna be the death. Fall to death effects. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to like play it, pause it, and then reverse it. I should make 2 different timelines. Should make one timeline and time stretch this. Is there ever going to be a situation where both of these fire at the same time? Or if they... they should never fire at the same time. Because if these 2 are fighting over one material parameter, I'm in trouble. What's that going to do for now? Whatever. For now, we'll do this. I'll think about it more later. Event graph. Find references. Okay. So that's a wall hit, and this is a death. Hey Numbat, what's up, man? That moment when you realize Joan has no soul, and the black hole that resides where her heart would be devours your idea, and it will never see the light. No, you gotta go in there with the thunder. You gotta go in there with the understanding that you're gonna make whatever it is you're about to make no matter what, and she's just gotta get on board or she isn't. And if Joan isn't on board, then she's gonna miss out, because this fucking shit that you're making, man, it's great. That's, you gotta have the thunder, man. Harry March, good morning, man. I want one day where nobody needs anything from me. It's good to be needed, Pete. Oh my god, I'm tired. So tired of working on this fucking game. Joan isn't on board. Bribe Joan. Alright, follow the death effects. Yeah, whatever, we'll figure out the rest in a second. Let me just see if this is even working. Yeah, well, hit effects end is... We're no longer calling this. That's the whole point of this. This was a stupid idea in the first place. No, wait, what am I doing? I forgot how things work. Okay. Let's open a level. Wait, how the fuck did I get into this state? Sorry, guys. Why is the level not painting? I've never seen that before. I've never seen this. I've never seen this. Was this something I just did? Those are death effects, by the way. That fate happens too late, and it's too shitty. Too late, not snappy enough. Crap, I hate it. This might have crashed. Nope, we're good. When you fall, suppress movement input. Pawn state falling. Are the other levels fucked? I've broken something. What did I change? Did I change anything here? No, nothing here has changed. What do I do for money? I mean, I'm an indie, not on this, but full-time. I worked as a game developer for Irrational Games on BioShock Infinite. Before that, I worked as a game developer on other games out in California, and I quit and started a company, and we I have a full-time job Tuesday through Friday for the company that I own. And we shipped the Flame of the Flood, and we're still kind of living off the revenue from that. What's very forward? What do I do for money? I don't know. It's like, people gotta eat. Makes sense. Yeah, no problem. What the shit is going on? I don't know why that suddenly stopped working. I didn't... There's no reason for it to not be working. Also, the clouds look like ass. Alright. Why is this not working? So bizarre. I mean, it's gotta be something that I changed, right? Where's draw amount? Oh, for fuck's sake. I know what the problem is. Apparently I just kind of overrode that variable. That's fine. Wait, no. No, that's not a thing. No, there was never a variable there. Of course not. This isn't a global. Oh, so now this is interesting. The material is getting updated. The pawn height isn't, which is a global parameter. Current pawn ground height. Why would that not get updated? Oh, hey, Wheeze. Sorry, man, I've been in this. Let me catch up in the chat. What's the default texture resolution I use? Probably 1024, and then I munch it down later. Hey, 5 colon. Something wrong with 2048. If it's all the textures for an entire room, it makes total sense. Oh, hey, Wheeze. Sorry, I'm still checking up. What's up, dude? I introduced a bug and I'm not sure how or why. I added a global parameter and now other global parameters are not getting updated. Is that the deal? Okay. 3,000. Good. Well, where are you, actually? Yeah, your ground height is 3,000, correct? Using pawn location, that should be fine. This is not even the right material. Okay. Material ground. World space texture. Different Z heights. Get the current pawn ground height. This all looks correct. None of this has changed. Dude, why? I just need to save this? Can't be that stupid. Good morning, May. Alright guys, we're gonna close and reopen the editor. Here's why. I don't know what I did. I was tired when I started this shit. I don't know what I did. So we're just gonna, not you, that's Photoshop. We're gonna close and reopen the editor. See what happens. We're not gonna save the game mode, because I shouldn't have changed anything there. What did I change it per force? post proc on the material. Yeah. Okay, so I only changed 3 files. Yep. Yeah, sorry man. Having a bit of a, I don't know. Failure of a weekend, really. But it's all good. Everything's just gonna work now. Yeah, the most painful thing was I dropped in halfway through when you were working on that, like, rigor targeting animation stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, man. I just wish, like, you can't troubleshoot someone else's problems through a Twitch chat, but I was just like, wheeze. You're in my wheelhouse, man. Actually, not even. I don't know. Rig retargeting, especially if you're using, like, Mixamo or whatever the hell it is you were doing. Just goes to show how much I was paying attention. This is what the game looks like without the post-proc, by the way. Everything's basically gray. The post-proc adds the color into the world. This is reality. I mean, you can call this hand-painted. This is crap. Someday this will look good. This is what the game looks like without any kind of post-proc. It's just, very little color, but everything is painted. There's obviously a lot more painting in the materials when the world is brightened. Why is, what's taking so long for this shader to come together here? Are you... Ooh. Maybe we found the problem. There. The post-proc multiplies the world times blue to purple, kind of in a gradient, and does some other stuff based on depth. Does the game run? Yes, it does. Oh, okay. So yeah, so somewhere I fucked up something. But I didn't save it, and it closed me up in the editor, and now we're good again. And that's what's important. What were we even doing? If you want to see it wheeze, it's not that complicated. This is the post-proc that turns the world from purple to blue. Literally just take the screen, multiply by 0.4. The hell am I doing here? Basically, I'm multiplying it. Okay, so this could just be multiplied by 1.4, but I decided to be a little bit weird about it, I guess. No. What the f... I multiplied by 0.4, and then I multiplied it by itself again. I imagined at some point this was a color, and I just kept changing things. Then I added it to itself. So basically I'm multiplying it by something like... This is just increasing the contrast in a really weird way. And then I take that value, that kind of high contrast value, I multiply it by purple, and I multiply it by this kind of bluish. And here I'm adding. The reason why I'm adding instead of multiplying is to kind of like soften it a bit. Like if you multiply something by blue, you'll get a different effect versus if you add blue. Like if you add a color, it'll kind of like lighten the screen a bit. Anyway, and I'm lerping between that kind of the pinkish, high contrast pink result to the blue result over screen space. This is just screen position from top to bottom. I've played around with other things, make the yellows pop more. I constantly tweak this. This is not done yet. I throw the character into a custom depth buffer so that I can render the cut out the character and have it not be affected by any of this stuff. And now today I just added hit effects, which should just flash black when you fall off the world. You can multiply by purple. Multiplying by something will make it darker, obviously. Adding something will make it lighter. Either way, you're kind of blowing things out a bit. You're blowing things out more if you add, usually. But yeah, that's why if you move the screen around, you'll see blue is always at the top, purple is always at the bottom. Kind of getting like a darker purplish effect at the bottom. It's entirely based on screen position. You can go higher than 0 and 1 in this. It'll actually automatically bloom if you do. Alright, let's take a look at our hit effects. So, if you fall off the world, screen fades to black and then back again. Alright, I don't want that to last as long, but other than that, we're doing okay. Thanks, Weiss. Definitely keeps things interesting. Plus later on, if I want to, I can like flash different colors, have a completely different vibe. Because everything in the game uses the same couple materials, I can rapidly change the look of the game if I want to. But I'm not very good at stuff, so it's not really happening. Hit effects. I have no idea how animation works, so this is super interesting. Pretty sure nothing I said there had anything to do with animation. But I'll take it. Point. That's definitely material stuff. Just giving you shit, man. You never get to multiply by purple. It's a shame. And Unreal color is just 3 values. R, G, and B. You can multiply a vector by a vector. You can imagine how that'll look. You too can multiply by purple. I want that effect to happen sooner. I'm about to undo it instead. When you die, change pawn state. Oh god, this is becoming a nightmare. Okay. 0.5. Actually, I don't think you should. I think death in general lasts too long. Oh, maybe I'll change it here. Point. guys are so silly. What do you think? Obviously the fade to black isn't the final effect. I have to focus. The goal today is not to make it look good, the goal today is to get everything working. As tempting as it is. Anyway. Like someday I'm gonna have to figure out all kinds of shit. Like, you can fall through the world right now. I probably don't want that in the long term. I don't know what I want yet. God damn, there's a lot of work to do. Okay. Anyway, death is faster. That looks fine. That probably won't break. Before I was getting an issue where you'd screen blend to black and the UI, which is a weird way to do it. And then you'd never, sometimes if something interrupted the sequence, the flow, you would never fade back. So that's fixed. To get everything working. That is a bit of an aggressive statement, isn't it? It's bold. You gotta be ambitious. Now let's try to repro. There's a lot of undo bugs. I don't have any solid repros for them. So let's see if we can... Let's break undo. Actually, no, you know what we need to do is... I bet hit effects looks stupid now. Like, we just tuned that for falling. But... actual hits? That's way too long. Also, why are we flashing through the... oh god. Oh my god. Okay. To flash the whole world whenever I do that. Okay, so hit effects need to be like... same thing, but much faster. You can be ambitious any day of the week, Tank Talk. You know what I want is when you hit the wall, the paint actually chips off. I'm not gonna do that today. Get work done. So Also, we should get rid of this horror script. There. Why is this? Like, I want it to fade away. Why are her eyelids gray? Why is everything busted? Alright, we're just gonna fix that at least. For my sanity, okay? Let's just... Shouldn't be this, it should be this. I think I put it. What I'm doing here is I'm declaring slots. How do I explain this? When we switch to a character, I'm making some assumptions. When we switch to a character, I look at the, when we instantiate a player, I take all the materials in the player and I organize them into character materials or outline materials. And then when we switch to the character, I take all the character materials on the character, on their limbs and their face and everything, and I change a bunch of parameters. So when I switch to this character, for instance, here's one. No, that's not one. Is active is a parameter that I change from 0 to 1. And if I don't change that, then she stays this bluish color. If I change it to 1, she turns yellow. And that's kind of the effect you see when, like if you see her here, she's blue. The world is blue. Now I'm changing her materials, and now they're yellow. And her eyelids are yellow, because I put it in the right slot name. That's all. That's why I had to change that real quick. Another thing I'm going to do real quick is when you open up the game, you see Kine. That looks bad. I have a new text treatment for Kine that I did on the stream, I think. Art source. I think. Right. Man, that's not indexed. Don't remember where I put it though. Yeah, there we go. Control A doesn't select all anymore. Just decided not to do that way. Okay. Alright. UI. So much better. Now we're not at some weird horror game. Now we're like a kinda softer game. You know what else I don't like? I don't like that that turns gray like that right before it loads. That upsets me. I'm gonna fix that. When you're disabled. Give me black box. Can't say what happens when you're disabled. I'm enabling and disabling this entire thing. Can I put you... Oh, fuck. If I wrap you with another canvas? Ooh, no, don't do that. Shit. Oh god, this is actually gonna be a pain in the ass, isn't it? Because I can't just... Won't just let me do that, huh? Shit. I have an idea. Get main buttons, level select buttons, dev mode and player facing. No, you're always like that. What the shit, man? Oh, yeah, that makes sense actually. Okay, the reason for that. Okay. Yeah. By default, enabled. By default, disabled. No, we're not gonna get any kind of weird blinking. The entire thing's gonna be replaced by bank anyway. That was meaningless. But it makes me happy. Alright. Suck on that. Let me read the chat. I mean, you can set, Raymarch, you can set in here when things bloom and how much they bloom and so forth. I think it's set automatically, the default settings. I mean, you override it in your post-proc. You change your bloom settings. I don't know the defaults. I think it's set to default if your emissive is over 1, it starts to bloom. I think it's set on the emissive, I'm not entirely sure. Hey Jeff Pack, what's up, man? And Jessica Mack, what's up? Good morning. I am grouchy. Everything looks like shit. Jessica, I spent all of yesterday trying out a new idea for the clouds, and I hate them. And I don't know what to do. And I have to stop working on it and wait a bit. It actually doesn't even look that bad when you pull back like this, but the main menu is tighter in, right? And this just looks like a mess. And I honestly think the textures from before looked better. So I feel like I wasted a day. And in the end, this isn't even really what I wanted. I wanted, like, I don't know. I don't know what I wanted. I might salt the earth and start over. But it's such a... At this point, I've already salted the earth a couple times. It's causing me... problems. Also, there's just a lot of shit in the game. Undo is totally broken. That is a goal I should fix today. Yeah. Having one of those days. I don't have a solid repro for undo being broken. I just know that it happens a lot. I've encountered it. My buddy Chris encountered it. Like over and over again. My musician mentioned it. It's getting out of control. So here's what we're gonna do. Start multiplying everything by the number. What the shit? 19,284,000. I didn't even get that right. So many more. Just more particles. I can dig that. More particles is always better. Yo, Jessica, I'm gonna play through the game. Should I play through as the drummer, the accordion, or the trombone? I'm gonna recklessly play through the game and try to get undo to break. Cool, Jeff. Thanks for dropping in, man. accordion? Alright. Look at how everything is broken. I'm just gonna get over it. Is this where you start? I think it is. Undo seems to be working here. Undo all is working, undo is working. I swear to you, this is broken as shit. Don't know why. It's pretending it's not broken right now. Oh, you shouldn't be able to do that. What level is this? Unreal doesn't have a replay system built in, no. Like, the undo is all just stuff I wrote. That's why I need to debug it. Something's wrong. Undo consistently breaks, and specifically the problem that happens is you'll undo and I'll never unlock the player controller, so the player will be left unable to move after they undo something that's like a bad move. Which I don't care, because I just hit escape and then reboot, so I haven't really given a shit. Every time I encounter that bug, I just don't care, but then I give a build to somebody and they're like, I don't know, I got locked out. Chris is like a 3-hour video where you got locked out, something like every half hour on average. And I don't know, so maybe I should be thinking more about the player controller. It definitely has something to do with undo. Don't know what exactly. Be something to do with the camera. I'm not hitting the bug. I don't see many microtrans opportunities in this game. Gotta level with you. Could have like $100 bow. She could have a bow, but only if you pay $100. We'll put a bow in her head. She'd look cute with a bow. I should just do that. Anyway, what do I want to do? Yeah, she would look cuter with a bow. Maybe the trombone is easier to break. Well, let me look up Chris's email from back in the day. Light fixtures are always in front of the camera, difficult to see, confusing color. These camera moves are awkward. Undo is broken at 11:08. Let's watch Chris play through the game. Go Chris. Really putting him on the spot here. Sorry, dude. 11:08. You guys want to hear it? It's my buddy Chris. This is like, I think the December build or something. Or a slightly older build.
There's a couple of weird angles that, actually, let me rewind really quick. Nope. Oh no, undo is broken. Undo is broken, Gwen. But yeah, there are times like this where...
How'd you get there? Okay, enough talking. This was from before we changed the trombone control scheme. I don't even have to hear it. He's bitching about the camera angle. That is a bad camera angle. He's right. I have to set the defaults for that stuff. Okay. What is he doing? He's not... Okay, so he just undid all, right? Right there. He did a bunch of stuff. He hit undo all. Oh no, he just hit undo several times. Then he moved. He hit undo all. Oh, what is that? That's the real bug. He fell through the world. That's gonna destroy everything. Okay, that's not an undo bug. I can't. Damn it. Yeah, okay. So that's definitely not an undo bug. Yeah, the lights are synced to the music. You want to see some shit? This is not done yet. Someday this is going to be actual chase lighting to the music. After I've figured out all the levels and I'm happy with them, and it's time to like really get into the polishy stuff. I'm gonna have the chase lighting actually go around to the bass. Might be out of sync. Wait for it to loop once. And still having issues getting the audio thread to sync. Kind of punning on that. Well, that's not helpful at all. None of this is an undo bug if it's just the game is broken. What are the other bugs? Alright, I think there's definitely undo bugs in the combo levels. Let's play through some combos. Ooh, yeah, we're locked out. Alright. I can't move. We've hit the bug, I bet. I need to turn off the music for a bit, so I guess. Because as much as I love it, hearing it constantly is going to drive me crazy. It's a juicy opportunity for sauce. You can't have juice and sauce, Jessica. That's weird. It's either got like, it's a sandwich you're dipping it in some kind of au jus situation, or you have a sauce. You need some kind of base, otherwise all you have is a mess. The fuck was I talking about? Okay, so I'm locked out. Game logic. Game mode. No, player controller. Player controller. Okay, so undo all on a combo level definitely breaks. I don't even think that's hard to repro. I think that might just happen every time. So the reason it's gonna break is where is suppress movement? Suppress input. Come on. Suppress movement count is currently 12. That's insane. So you don't want suppress movement to be a bool, because there could be multiple reasons why the player can't have input. Alright, there's two things. First off, rather than having suppress input, which is like ignore any input the player gives you, I broke that out into ignore undo versus ignore input for various reasons. Usually I set them both at the same time. Suppress movement, you don't want that to be a bool, because there could be multiple things that are suppressing movement. Like you could be in a cinematic, or you could have locked down the player because they've died, or they could be in the middle of a move. Multiple things can trigger at the same time, and if something if one thing terminates, you don't necessarily want to just unset the bool. So instead you have an int that you increment, right? Like there's 3 things suppressing the movement right now. And that way you can kind of like, your logic can daisy chain suppressing the input. So long as everything unsuppresses the input, you should, like, if there's 4 reasons the player can't have an input, and then suddenly there's 3 and 2 and 1, the player still can't input, doesn't matter, right? Anyway, that's the whole shittily explained reason why this is an int. This hitting 12 is pretty absurd. Right now, apparently there's 12 reasons why the player can't have an input, which means probably each undo was, I don't know, adding one to the stack or some shit. So here I'm saying is undo suppressed. Right. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So when I call undo multiple, which I think is what's called when I hit the undo all button, you should only ever hit that once. You should loop through undoing. The actual undo previous move does not. Alright, so if you're on a combo level and the track you're on is not the current track, switch tracks. That makes sense. I'm gonna assume that's fine, actually. I don't know how I click that. Man, there sure are a lot of fucking delays in here. That's not good. Okay. Bye, Jessica. Oh, I missed the sauce conversation. Guys are getting ready for lunch, I think. Would not be better to track those in a set, so then you'd know suppressor 1, suppressor 4, Maybe. Then you'd have to define all the reasons that you're suppressing a movement. I'm not sure. Like, what if there's multiple narrative reasons? Like, are you gonna literally, like, have an enum or something where you say every possible reason you could be suppressing input? I don't know. We'll say it's not a perfect system. We definitely ran into stuck bugs. Like, there was a lot of cleanup on the Flame and the Flood for various stuck bugs. A stuck bug being one where you're ignoring the player input. It's like it's a recurring theme of... Clearly I have not figured this out, basically. This is not something I've got a good solution to. I'm also not real clear on a lot of shit here. Like, for instance, I thought I wasn't using undo count anymore for literally anything. So is this just like a legacy thing in here? Getting it somewhere. Here, where I'm adding one to it. Okay. I'm getting it. On the save current level. It's part of level 1. Not sure if I should be using that there, but okay. Think on that more later. Setting it back to 0 here. Do I ever use this? Apparently I'm setting it back to 0 twice. I'm real paranoid about it. I'm literally setting it. What the fuck? That's not right at all. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a legacy variable. Also from a time when I was tracking how many times you undid, and I'd give you like a score based on how many moves you did things in and how many times you hit undo. But I decided that was dumb. So... maybe I should just get rid of this undo count thing. I'm gonna check in. What do I have before I just go changing shit? What did we do this morning already? Next hit effects. Saving it. When I load you, do I care? Game mode. So I saved this, yeah. The undo count variable is not useful. It's from a time when I cared how many times you undid for the sake of giving the player a score. I don't care about that anymore. Why in the world would I not save the user input? Oh, because I have it. Oh, yeah. My god, this changed completely. That's right. I'm not using the undo count anyway. Haven't been for a while. Yeah, I'm aware. Wait a minute, what did I just change? Yeah, okay, you're fine. It doesn't hurt to know how many times the player undid. Getting away in the weeds on something that doesn't super matter. We shouldn't be saving that here anyway. Let's just keep getting rid of it. Because the pawn shouldn't be tracking how many times it undid. The pawn doesn't care. That's on the game mode now, because you could be undoing things that affect multiple pawns or multiple things in the world. So having this here is just weird. That variable is gone. Hey JT. Let me catch up. Have a suppress handle in the code that wants to suppress that increases ref count by 1, and upon handle deletion the suppress ref count goes down by 1. What? Have a suppress handle in the code on deletion. Oh, interesting. So create like an... What would be the blueprint equivalent of that? Something that... It would be like creating an actor or an object, basically, that on construction changes, I don't know, like a global variable or something, and then on destroy of that object removes one from that variable. But I mean, at the end of the day, you're still going to need to call create and destroy on that object, so I'm not sure what that saves you. At the end of the day, if you're not destroying that object, you're still going to have the same problems. Maybe. I'm not sure if that's what you're thinking, though. And no, the windows are closed. There's just loud birds. There's definitely birds, so yeah, you're not going crazy. Where can I find information on Blueprint? Shit, I don't know, man. Unreal is free. Download it and play. Like, you can just download it, try to make something, open up one of the default projects, try to change it. If that's too much, Google Blueprint tutorials. Lord knows, I mean, this is a very popular engine. There's tons of documentation and tutorials and shit. Yeah. Or you can ask me if you have a specific question. I exist. This is a live show. I guess. I'm probably respectable. Well, in blueprints you have to call delete manually on the object. My idea doesn't help. I'm coming from languages where that's a helpful pattern. Yeah, I don't have any reference to something... Like, there's objects that automatically delete themselves after a certain amount of time. You can make objects child of other objects so that if you delete the top of the stack, it deletes all the children. Can't think of anything else that works in that way. I'm also not at all familiar with the languages you're talking about, so I'm not sure what you're describing, really. I'm just trying to understand it with my funny little boxes. Let's make sure we didn't break anything. We didn't fix anything, but hopefully we also didn't break anything. Let's verify. See, I'm just really happy that things that make me happier probably don't. Alright. Like, this makes me deeply unhappy, the flickering. Like, I just want to fix this. Why does my game look like ass, guys? Okay. Like, I don't have a solution here. This should this. I hit a breakpoint. Hit a breakpoint. I forgot ahead. Where are you? There it is. Alright, yeah, let's actually start to debug the problem. The problem being, when I undo all on a combo level, I lose player input. The first test is... Let's just jump right to... I don't remember which one we were on. Maybe this one? That's a totally different one. Whatever. Should probably be broken too. If I hit undo all, it calls undo multiple once. It seems to undo everything. And I never get player input back. So undo suppressed to 2. That's weird. And what is movement suppressed? Also 2. Okay, well at least they're the same. So I shouldn't be able to undo or redo. Yeah. Or move. Okay, I'm locked out completely. Okay. I did expect that. Alright, what did we learn? We learned that my biggest fear would be that this is called multiple times, but it's not. It's just called the once. Sure, whatever. Why are we changing to the gameplay? Oh, if you're dead or... Yeah, no, you're not. Okay. Ignore that. Alright, so... This is fine. This should be completely unnecessary now. But anyway. It shouldn't be coming up anyway, so we're fine. So the bug isn't here. Okay, so mostly it's not doing much. So... Oops. Alright, when you start an undo, you do suppress the movement input. For every undo. On every pawn. I have some things I want to try. I have some ideas. Let me read the chat here. By the time people say, I see people say goodbye, they're usually long gone. But bye, Kayla. Another pattern that is done with inputs is having input events go through a chain subsystem that can potentially consume or ignore them, and once they're consumed, they're gone. And the underlying systems in the priority... Okay, hold on. Fuck. Another pattern that is done with inputs is having the input events go through a chain of subsystems that potentially consume or ignore them. Once they are consumed, they're gone, and the underlying system in the priority list doesn't ever hear about the input ever happening. Sorry, if you press pause, the pause menu is pushed on the top priority list and consumes the inputs, so the underlying game with lower priority does never get that the inputs are coming in. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I'm not sure how that would apply to this situation. That would be something where, like, if I wanted to say, oh yeah. Whereas right now I'm just saying, is input suppressed? If it is, you know, ignore the input. What you would say is, like, is input... I mean, you're still going to need to have something that says that the player is allowed to move right now or not, right? One thing I do want to do long term is have like a queue, so that if you spam like move right, or if you hit move right but your camera isn't quite done moving, like settling yet, so it's not moving you right yet, it's queued up, and as soon as it can, it'll execute. It's like a long term kind of polishy thing I want to do. There's a lot of fiddly shit I have to do for input, but I can't even get like the basics in yet, so. Blueprint's not hard, it's easy. I'm just real dumb, okay? Look, I don't need your shit this morning, Brumub. One day we will click to develop games. One day your thoughts will be able to control machines, and then we won't even have to worry about this shit. But there's always going to be somebody that's tuning how your thoughts affect the machines. There's always going to be an architect under the hood. Python is a really fun way to start JTN. I will say that. Not a programmer though. You should probably listen to him. Okay, what am I doing here? Machine learning stuff is cool. The overlap between machine learning and game development is, like, the people who are into them tend to be into both. I always thought that was kind of interesting. I don't know why there's so much fascination between those two fields. But there's definitely, like, I think there's a small division in Ubisoft that's actually looking into some of that stuff. You can, some point, maybe Dave will get in here and he'll talk about it. He's worked with a lot of the people that are working on that kind of stuff. Dan Lowe. God, I'm losing my mind. That's always a fun conversation. That's the conversation I'm looking to. One of the best ones we're going to have at GDC this year is I don't know if it's going to be Monday night or Tuesday night. We're all going to make tinfoil hats, and Dan Lowe is going to explain to us how machine learning is going to take all our jobs and change the world. Dude's a maniac. Here's the plan. Here's what I'm gonna test. Okay. Undo all right now. Is it already broken? No. Undo all right now. Is it broken? Ooh, already. It didn't undo all though. Did you see that? It undid to there. I'm missing an undo. That's noted. Undo all, undo a switch. Is it broken? No. Undo all, do a switch into a move. Is it broken? No. Switch back. Now undo all. Is it broken? No. What the fuck? What does it take to break you? Before I had 100% breaking rate. Maybe I need to start the level. What if I get a different result if I... That made no difference. Oh shit. Why is this working now? What did I change? Did I change anything that could have possibly fixed shit? No, right? Like, no. No way. What was I doing before I started talking? I removed the undo count variable, which changed nothing. Everything was still broken. I looked at all this, but changed nothing from what I remember. Holy fuck. Let's get distracted again. That seems to be a good idea. Alright. Oh, I'm sorry, man. Pete, I love GDC. You gotta go, like, a couple times, though, so you build up a crew or whatever. You should just go with me. I would introduce you to the animation crew. You'd fit right in. One of these days. Gwen, you know any examples of studios using machine learning for AI in games? You should talk to Dan Lowe about that. I don't know what I know. I don't know. Not only do I not know what I know, I don't know what's public knowledge. But yeah, obviously, like, especially in the academics are really, really excited about AI that adapt to you, that respond to what you do, that learn from you and change, that sort of thing. So obviously, there's people who are very excited about that. Remarch, that might be the alcohol, bro. Scotland to GDC, yeah, that's rough. I always feel for people that are flying in. You know, it was weird, like, Remy has been on, I was on Twitter yesterday, I'm back in Twitter, because I don't know what's good for me, I guess. But, like, Remy was talking about how things like travel insurance to travel to America and stuff, and I have to admit, like, when I travel overseas, I'm always super nervous. Like, going to Germany alone was kind of unnerving, and the things I usually worry about are, like, am I gonna be able to plug in my shit? Is anyone gonna speak English? You know, I don't know, traveling alone is always stressful. And I think now, because the news paints America as being, like, this hellscape where there's guns and Trump exists, it seems so terrifying. But in my head, I'm like, America is the safest place to travel. Maybe it's because, like, I'm a white chick, but traveling in South America or, like, Eastern Europe or, you know, the Middle East seems so much scarier to me. And I know it's all perspective. I know it's definitely because I'm American. America doesn't seem scary. But, I mean, you're probably not going to go to an elementary school, so you most likely won't get shot in this country. GDC's probably going to be just fine. Especially if you're flying into California, like the liberal mecca of our country, you're gonna be just fine. Like, it's not that bad. But then again, His points about health insurance are super on point. It's something I've never had to consider. What it's like to travel to America because you don't have health insurance. And our hospital systems are just such a wreck. I can definitely see why that'd be a concern. It was cool reading through that thread and seeing other people's perspectives. For what it's worth, I would have absolutely, no reservations about traveling to Scotland. I would feel totally safe doing that. It really bums me out that people feel unsafe traveling to America. Yeah, I'd have no reservations traveling to Canada either. Cali has strong pockets of conservatism, but you're not going to find those if you're a tourist. You're probably going to go to LA, San Francisco. And let's be real, California's got, North California. Humboldt County. I drove through Humboldt County. I got out of the car. The second I got out of the car, I was offered shrooms. It was instant. It's dudes just walking down the street, shrooms. I got out of the car in Humboldt County. Man. God damn. There's something going on in Humboldt where, there would just be clothes on the ground. You'd be walking around and somebody would be walking down the street and they'd just see a shirt on the ground and they would just rip off their shirt and then put on that shirt and then just keep walking. And I saw this several times to the point where I was starting to wonder, is this some kind of cultural shirt exchange situation? What is this place? Yeah. Humboldt County, man. That's a weird place. I know, I have an acquaintance that went there, and she's opened up what do you call it? A pot farm or whatever. Because, what else are you going to do in Humboldt County? Places not from this earth. God, California's weird. That entire coast is just pockets of interesting shit. So the guy found out, I got scolded in Quebec for speaking English. So the guy found out I was American and not from Ontario. Then they were very apologetic and welcoming. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Dude, Montreal is so much fun. If I was younger and I didn't loathe the cold as much as I do, I would totally live in Montreal. That is a fun city. That is that's just, it's just got everything. It's a good place to be young. It's cheap. It's the music, culture, art, food, the French food. Holy shit. Montreal's where it's at. And obviously, the game dev scene there is huge. I'm a homebody too, man. I just there's a road trip once a year to Montreal that Code Beast does. I don't know, all my friends are the game developers, and anytime somebody goes somewhere I go with them, because you should travel when you can, otherwise you won't. That's a dumb thing to say. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just really trying to stall because I don't know what to do here. I don't know what's going on. I seem to have an intermittent bug, which is the worst kind. I don't know what I just did. It didn't undo all the way. You see that, right? It should undo one more time. What's up with that? Also. Yeah, what is up with that? Why didn't it undo all the way? It's like it didn't save the initial position. Is there times when that would matter? I don't know, guys. Thanks, Congo. Go travel very much. Where are you heading out to, Dink Donk? From Scotland. Where do people in Europe travel? I heard Turkey. I love Turkish food. Seems exciting. I'd like to go to Europe not for work sometime. Well, I guess I did that one time. I'd like to go to Europe not for work again. Other places in Europe, yeah. No, I've never been to Berlin. Oh wait, shit, yeah, I was. I was really tired, so I didn't really get out much. It was like at the end of a trip where I just overextended myself too much. Yeah, I got some sweet photos of, like, what do you call it? The graffiti in Berlin is some real next level shit. I'm just kind of like walking around taking pictures of all the graffiti and stuff. That was cool. I say Lisbon was really fun. It's expensive. All of Europe is. It's gonna be a note over there. Guitar Hero notes coming down to the left. You have to solve the what? Maybe. Let's see what happens very March. Dink Donk, you're going to PAX East? Shit, yeah, man. See you there. The time I went to Colm, I went there for Gamescom. I got this. We didn't have money, and I needed to go there to be there for like a Microsoft event for the Flame and the Flood. And I stayed in like this. I flew budget. I didn't realize how budget could be. It was one of those airlines where they like sell you shit during the, like, it's insanely cheap, but the entire time they're walking down the aisles like selling you perfume and stuff. It was like every part of the experience was so incredibly unpleasant. They had I was vegetarian at the time for a while going to Germany, so this was already a mistake. I got off the plane. I was staying in the cheapest apartment or hotel room I could get, which was like smaller than my dorm room. I couldn't believe how small they made this thing. I didn't really mind that. That was fine. Like, but like I was vegetarian at the time in Germany, and I like couldn't eat anything, so I ate meat for the first time in a long time. Got violently ill. Gamescom was so crowded. I was showing off this game. Hold on, let me show you a picture. Picture's worth 1,000 words. Let me see. Photos from Gamescom. This was me at Gamescom. Sums up how I felt. Fucking tired. There's just people, like walls of people, oppressive amounts of people, and this isn't even like, this is just like a corridor. You went out into the halls, like into the actual areas where the games were. They were massive. Keep in mind, Gamescom is something like 6 times bigger than E3 or some crazy shit. Like, it's just too many people. It just killed me. I had a miserable time. I think the last day I gave up and I just didn't go. I emailed Forrest and everybody. I'm like, it doesn't make sense. There's like no reason for me to be here. Half the people don't speak English. They don't want to talk to me. They just grab the controller, play, and then leave. And like, I took off and I just started walking around, which was when I had the most fun. I did like this. Every cafe I went to, they had like a little bowl outside for the dogs. So people would just bring their dogs, leave them there, and then there's always like treats and water and stuff. This is calm. The last day was fun, mostly because I fucked off and didn't do my job. Yeah, the cathedral was cool. Walked around that. They had that one cathedral where I guess like they had put up art and then they'd ripped it down and put up, or didn't even rip it down, they just like put other statues up. And then they just put up other statues, like when every time somebody conquered the area for this one, I guess, church or cathedral, I don't know if that's what you're talking about, they just kept putting up different statues. So you had like a combination of different art styles and these different sculptures all around this church. It was really weird. I loved it. Thought it was cool. You know, I'm complaining a lot. I did have a really bad time, mostly because I got sick and stuff, but I also had a really great time because travel's always fun, in a way. You know, I just get a lot of stories out of it. I definitely got insanely drunk one night and like had a heart-to-heart with Guion, who's another person that was traveling to Germany from Montreal. Like, he's a friend of mine that runs, God, what is the name of their studio? Doesn't matter, they're demoing next to me. Nobody cares, I'm sorry. I'm just going on. It was a good time. I don't want to do this anymore, guys. I don't know what to do. I don't know why things are sometimes broken and sometimes not. I don't know why undo all isn't undoing the first thing. Maybe that's the trick. Maybe the first move is the one that's messing me up. It's never letting me undo that first move. See, I just moved. I don't have undo. Why? That's interesting, actually. Let's think about that. If I do a solo level, to have that same experience. Move once, I can immediately undo. Drop into this level. Move once, I can immediately undo. Why can I do it now? What's the difference? This level might just be... Oh yeah, this level's got a narrative bit to it. It's a bad example. I'm gonna murder somebody. Sorry. Oh, in that picture? Yeah, I was pretty pissed at that moment. That was also the... Was that the one? Yeah. That was the time I was demoing in the Microsoft booth, and I got there early, in that, like, hour before people are allowed, when it's just the press. Before the show floor opened. And Sony wasn't done with their stuff yet, like their setup. So they wouldn't let anybody cut through their booth. But their booth was right in front of the ladies' room. And they managed to section off not only their booth, but the hallways to the ladies' room. So, like, for the first hour before the convention opened, I couldn't use the ladies' restroom. Sony's just like, no, you can't come through here. And I'm like, well, what do I do? They're like, well, go to the other hall to pee. This is like a half-mile walk to use the fucking restroom. I was so pissed. I was so mad. I can't believe they got away with that. That was the convention. Maybe changing levels makes it work. Maybe. It's broken right now. See? Can you see? You can't see. Ha! Bank. This is usually lit up. It's not. Why? Why now? Why this time? Do I resume? Does it come back? No. No. Just... If I restart, have that exact same experience. Okay, so the buttons are uninitiated. Undo's locked. Undo's unlocked. It only lets me go back to there. Why now? What's the fucking difference? Is it because I'm resuming? What would happen if... Okay, this time the button's initiated immediately. That's interesting. And they work. Why is it sometimes when I load into level the buttons aren't initiated? Does it only ever happen when I cold open the game and I hit resume? Buttons are uninitiated. Now they're initiated wrong. Okay. Okay. We're learning some shit. Does that only happen with combo levels? How are we gonna figure this out? Here's how we're gonna figure this out. I'm gonna delete my save. Oh, I don't know, I was testing there. Did that even save? Huh. No. That's how it was saved. Okay, now we can resume. Buttons are uninitiated here too. If I move once. Okay. curious. So only when resuming after a cold open. Game start. Let's work backwards actually from the HUD. That might be easier. Update current move count. When you save, undo, or redo, you call this. Current move index. Work back to what would set this to be disabled. Game mode, what am I thinking here? So if current move index is greater than 1, sure. Alright, how about this? Every tick. Get the current move index. And print it to the screen. I'm gonna delete my save. It's right there. Can you guys see this? That's the current move index. It's currently 1. That makes sense. The first thing it does is it takes 0 and it puts in its starting location, then it increments to 1. So, yeah. Now it's 2. Now it's 3. This is an example of this working properly. Now it's 1. It should always be at least 1. Current move index being like when it saves a move, this is the index it's going to save to. So it should never save to 0. It saves to 0 on a knit, so I know what the starting location of the pawn is. Okay. Now, we quit the game. It's 0. No level is loaded. That makes sense. I resume. It's still 0. That's the problem. That should be 1. Why is it 0? If I was to reload the level, it would be 1. This is happening in the game mode. When I load the level, I don't have this set up yet. Is this it? If I just ignore that for now, does it work? Yeah, now it's 1. So now obviously this will work. I have no idea if this is the bug we had earlier from like... how sometimes this level would lock up. Shit's working. Alright, well... I mean, I guess I could see how that could have caused all kinds of havoc. Maybe. I mean... especially if you're loading into a level... like, yeah, I guess I could see how that would cause problems. This existed because... where are you? This existed because I wanted to be able to, if you were loading into a level, have the ability to redo all of your moves. So for instance... God, I can't tell if this is what I think it is. They're both coming from the same thing? That seems stupid. Why are you both coming from the same pool? That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, if this is true, so this was never force redoing all, which is interesting. Which is fine, I think that's what I want. I just said it said if you load into a game, you can have the potential to redo all and get right back to where you were when you last quit. Which is a feature I could still support, but I feel like I would need way more. Like I would need to set the current move index to 1. I'm already loading everything onto the pawn. I don't know what this is about. That would be if I want to actually redo everything. Also, this was never going to be taken. I don't know what I was thinking here. Clearly it wasn't. This is clearly stuff that like moved around a lot. Because I've redone the undo redo system like a million times. Alright. It's not what I should be able to do. Alright, level is loaded. If I just hit resume, I'm back here. Here's what I want to do. Forward, back, mess around in general. Can I undo all? Yes, and still move. Yes, okay. So say I've been playing, I'm stumped. Don't know what to do anymore. I'm here. I leave. I quit. Go for a walk. Come back. Resume. Can I redo all? No. Whoa, I just hit undo and broke the damn game. Broke everything. What the fuck? Shouldn't have been able to undo right there. The buttons are enabled and I don't know why. You know what? We're not going to worry about supporting this case right now. We've got bigger fish to fry here. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I just need to... actually do this. I'm not gonna give up yet. Hold on. I don't know what state my save file's in. Let's find out. Okay. Hit resume. The buttons are not enabled. That's fine. Maybe I didn't have any save data. Let's get some save data. Let's quit the game. Let's reload the game. Resume. Save data's still not there. Whatever, that's fine. At least there's no stuck bug. I don't know if I want to let... Like, maybe when you quit, you just have to start over the level again when you resume the game. I don't know. I don't know if that's a feature I even want. It seems like it'd be nice to have. Alright. So I haven't read this in forever. Does Blueprint give you a way to monitor what's in your undo stack? I mean, I could. It would be like a... I could watch the struct. Not easily. I'd have to write something real quick to like print out a screen or something. Or to break the struct and just show what I want to show. Because every move, it actually saves a lot of stuff. Like it just saves a lot of stuff. So it'd be a lot of stuff to look through. Hey Danny Dead Pixel, what's up, man? Andre Knight. I don't know if it was a nice walk. What did you just link here, dude? I write 200 lines of code per day. The mess. Yeah, that sounds about right, actually. Alright, what do I want to do? I don't even know if that's fixed the problem or not. Definitely didn't just achieve what I was trying to achieve, did I? I think if I leave now, it's kind of like giving up. I wanted to make it so that when you load into a game If there's save data, let's just fucking do it. We ain't no scrubs up in this shit, man. You load a saved game. Oh, look, I'm doing the same thing right here. Current track each move. I'm setting the movie next to be 0. Well, that's stupid. Let's definitely not do this in 2 places. What's the right place? When you load the game? No. Okay. This does not go here. Period. When you start the level. Also, load saved moves for pawn. Let's add some variables here so I can put the right things in the right pawn. When you spawn a pawn. Christ. What am I doing here? If I'm loading the saved moves to the pawn and finding the completed level. Okay. Or the fuck? Or you're in a cinematic. Okay, if I'm loading the save moves to the pawn. And the save file has this file. And this is, I imagine, the track that I'm currently loading. Sure, yes. Initialize pawn with that pawn move. Alright, that makes sense. Okay, so the pawn should know all the moves it needs to do. If this is working. The way this would not be working is if current track each move is not getting set, which it should be. Cinematic, current track each move. Yeah, it's not. That makes sense. Let's not consider that just for cinematics. When you resume the game and you start the level. This was now the number of potential moves will not be 0 if you're loading a level where you've made some moves. So, hey, check that shit out. You probably can't. You have no idea why this is exciting, but you will in a moment. Look, alright. So making a bunch of moves, right? Making moves. Looking good. Feeling like I want to go for a walk, so stop, I quit the game. Get back from my walk. The walk was fine. I don't know. It's a pretty good day. Feeling like I want to take on some puzzles. Want to resume from right where I was. I'm gonna fast forward. Bam! It's all there. I want to undo. I want to undo all. Is there a glitch there? The fuck is that? That doesn't look right. Undo, undo, broken, redo, redo. The redo's doing just fine. Undo's not attaching our little buddy here. Oh, and now we're glitched out. Oh god. Oh, that's not good. Alright, well that was real fucked. Oh, whatever. The thing I wanted to fix, I fixed. We're still clearly very fucked. Why is everything dirty? Not gonna question it, we're just gonna save it. Hey, Whis. All right. Getting kind of hungry. It's almost 1. I think I might call it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it. It's a good breaking point. In that I fixed something, probably. Of the large number of things. Should probably keep digging into undo and figure out why we're not attaching on undo. Maybe I'll stream that. I don't know. I should stream it. I'll stream again later. I'm gonna take off for lunch. Arrays do start at 1. My arrays are usually by default they start at 0. 0 is the initial position of the pawn though. Like basically I already have data in the array. When I start the game, when I spawn a pawn for the first time, I'm either saying, okay, this is where you are, put that data in 0. The current move, the move that you're doing right now is now 1. Or I'm loading in which case I've already done that, so I'm never starting at 0. The first move you do is always 1, because I need the initial location. That's just how I structured it, okay? Maybe it doesn't make sense. Yeah, there's construction outside. It feels like there's an earthquake. Alright, what are we looking at now, Nordal? You're a nerd. Alright, nerds. I'm taking off. That's it for me. Sorry, I'm not cheerful and entertaining today. It's a shit day. Undo bugs are never good. Though I think I have a hint now. That was instructive. Later, dink donk. Yeah. I'll be back later. I don't know when. Probably pretty soon, actually. Max scripts. God, don't remind me.